Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are exploring one of the most powerful and controversial empires in history, the Spanish Empire. How did a relatively small European kingdom rise to become a global superpower? The answer lies in a combination of military conquest, economic ambition, and a complex web of alliances, exploitation, and resistance. The riches of South America played a crucial role, but so did Spain's political maneuvering and technological advantages. Let us unravel how Spain's thirst for wealth and power changed the course of history. In the late 15th century, Spain was emerging from centuries of warfare. The Reconquista, a nearly 800-year-long struggle to expel Muslim rulers from the Iberian Peninsula, ended in 1492 with the conquest of Granada by King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. That same year, Christopher Columbus, funded by the Spanish crown, set sail across the Atlantic, unknowingly setting the stage for an era of unprecedented expansion. Spain's early explorations were driven by the search for gold, spices, and new trade routes to Asia. But what they found in the Americas was far beyond their expectations: vast and wealthy civilizations like the Aztec and Inca empires. The discovery of these lands and their resources would propel Spain into the ranks of the world's most dominant powers. Unlike Portugal, which focused on trade outposts along the African and Asian coasts, Spain pursued full territorial conquest. This aggressive approach, combined with religious fervor and advancements in navigation and military technology, set the stage for the empire's meteoric rise. The Spanish conquest of the Americas was swift, brutal, and transformative. Armed with steel weapons, gunpowder, and horses, along with strategic alliances and deadly European diseases, Spanish conquistadors dismantled indigenous empires with staggering speed. Hernán Cortés led the conquest of the Aztec Empire in 1521, aided by indigenous allies who opposed Aztec rule. Similarly, Francisco Pizarro defeated the Inca Empire by 1532, exploiting a civil war between rival Inca factions. But conquest wasn't just about battles. The Spanish imposed their language, religion, and administrative systems on indigenous populations. The Catholic Church played a crucial role, sending missionaries to convert native peoples while also serving as an arm of colonial control. The effects were catastrophic. Millions of indigenous people died due to warfare, forced labor, and European diseases like smallpox and measles, to which they had no immunity. The encomienda system granted Spanish settlers the right to demand labor from indigenous communities, leading to widespread exploitation. Over time, as indigenous populations dwindled, Spain turned to enslaved Africans to sustain its colonial economy, particularly in the Caribbean and South America. The wealth of South America became the foundation of Spain's global dominance. The discovery of immense silver deposits, especially at Potosí in present-day Bolivia and Zacatecas in Mexico, turned Spain into the richest kingdom in Europe. By the late 16th century, Spanish galleons were transporting tons of silver across the Atlantic and the Pacific, fueling the global economy. This wealth had profound consequences. Silver from the Americas helped finance Spain's wars in Europe, its sprawling bureaucracy, and even international trade with China via the Manila galleons. The Spanish Real de Ocho, which is a piece of 8, became the first global currency used from Europe to Asia. But this economic boom had a dark side. Indigenous laborers and enslaved Africans suffered under brutal working conditions in the mines. Mercury poisoning, particularly from refining silver, led to countless deaths. The relentless extraction of resources also had devastating environmental consequences, from deforestation to soil degradation. By the 16th century, Spain's empire stretched from the Americas to the Philippines, earning it the title of the first true global empire. Its territories spanned vast regions of North and South America, the Caribbean, parts of Europe, Africa, and Asia. The empire's wealth shaped the Renaissance, funded the rise of Spain's formidable navy, and established Spanish as a dominant global language. Yet Spain's power was not unchallenged. The riches of the empire fueled inflation, weakening Spain's economy. Wars against England, France, and the Dutch Republic drained resources. By the 18th century, Spain's influence began to wane as rival powers, especially Britain and France, gained strength. The early 19th century saw the collapse of Spanish rule in the Americas, as independence movements led by figures like Simón Bolívar and José de San Martín reshaped the continent. Despite its decline, Spain's colonial legacy remains deeply ingrained in modern Latin America. Spanish is the dominant language across most of the region. Catholicism remains a major religious force, and the cultural blending of European, indigenous, and African traditions has created rich and diverse societies. The Spanish Empire's rise to superpower status was built on ambition, conquest, and the immense wealth of the Americas. But it was also marked by exploitation, forced labor, and cultural upheaval. It is a story of both triumph and tragedy, one that shaped the modern world in profound ways. As we reflect on this history, we are reminded of the complex legacies that empires leave behind. The Spanish Empire may have faded, but its influence endures in the languages we speak, the traditions we celebrate, and the histories we remember. Thanks for watching History Unfolded. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more. See you next time.